Modern medical administration often projects an image of total clinical control: clean waiting rooms, updated software, and fully booked schedules. But behind the scenes, the revenue cycle pipeline holding these modern, complex practices together is actively breaking down. This line graph plots the trajectory of initial claim denials over the last few years. You can see a steep 2.4 percentage point climb since 2020, reaching a peak of 11.8% in 2024. Today, roughly 1 in 10 claims is kicked back immediately. Every single one of those kicked back claims carries an administrative price tag. It costs between $47 and $63 just to process a single denial, and that cost assumes your team actually wins the appeal. Nearly half of avoidable denials are never recovered at all. This creates a compounding math problem. The sheer volume of payer rejections is climbing, and the cost to fight them is climbing. Yet, right now, 43% of revenue cycle teams report they are operating understaffed. Practices are hemorrhaging cash invisibly every single day. The patient volume is there, but standard operational models simply cannot outpace the sheer mathematical volume of payer rejections. If you operate a practice in New York, you carry an additional, punishing layer of regulatory complexity. Running a billing department here requires navigating a landscape that practices in states like Ohio or Arizona simply do not face. This map visualizes New York's Medicaid managed care structure. Instead of a single, uniform pipeline, a practice sits at the center of dozens of disconnected, conflicting rule sets. Individual managed care organizations and specific workers' compensation jurisdictions each enforce their own distinct authorization windows and submission rules. Errors in the system carry severe consequences. New York state law expressly prohibits percentage-based compensation between providers and billing agents for Medicaid-covered services. That is an enforceable statute, meaning structural billing mistakes can trigger legal violations, not just financial chargebacks. This environment is about to face extreme stress. Under H.R. 1, up to 1 million New Yorkers are projected to lose their Medicaid coverage. Practices will soon face a tidal wave of patients navigating coverage gaps, leading to mass eligibility verification failures. Medical billing in New York is an active operational minefield. The data suggests that the complexity of this environment has reached a point where the standard in-house model is consistently breaking under the pressure. When faced with this level of complexity, the default reaction for many practice owners is to hire more in-house staff. But in the current market, that approach is a financial trap. This waterfall chart breaks down the true cost of a single medical billing specialist in New York City. The base salary starts around $62,000. Stack on benefits, taxes, training, and software, and that seat balloons to $95,000. Then you factor in churn. Business operations support roles experience a 33% turnover rate. Every time a staff member walks out, the practice pays a replacement penalty of $9,000 to $12,000. The most damaging cost never appears on a balance sheet: the complete loss of institutional knowledge. When a biller leaves, their mental map of specific payer quirks leaves with them. Unworked, complex claims pile up, appeal deadlines pass, and balances are quietly written off as a total loss. Relying on expensive, high-turnover human capital to fight a mathematically compounding data war is an unsustainable ledger liability. The math simply does not support the model. High-performing practices are walking away from the constant cycle of hiring and replacing. Instead, they are replacing the in-house model entirely with a specialized, data-backed architecture. This flowchart illustrates the metric for revenue survival: first-pass resolution. By implementing dedicated front-end claim scrubbing, practices create a clean vector that forces denial rates below 5%, bypassing the chaotic loop of rejections entirely. This clean path is protected by AI-augmented workflows and predictive validation. These tools act as a shield, proactively identifying coding inconsistencies and blocking up to 85% of avoidable denials. But technology alone fails without deep specialization. Success requires AAPC and AHIMA coders who understand New York's specific modifiers, workers' comp jurisdictions, and stringent documentation standards. To survive the modern payer environment, your practice needs an architecture built on consistent, credentialed specialization and AI foresight, rather than relying on the fragile memory of a single rotating staff member. This optimized architecture is exactly how Staffingly operates. Their specialized teams function seamlessly inside your practice's native EMR every day, delivering expert execution without the overhead of physical seats, benefits, or payroll taxes. Look at the stark disparity on this financial scale. On one side, a single in-house New York seat drains $75,000 to $95,000 from your practice annually. On the other side, a dedicated Staffingly specialist operates at a predictable flat rate of $399 per week, totaling just under $21,000 a year. There are no multi-month onboarding nightmares or restrictive long-term contracts. Within 14 days, a credentialed team connects to your system for a risk-free pilot, providing immediate relief to your revenue cycle. The operational outcome is a fully integrated, AI-routed workflow that tracks shifting New York State guidelines in real time. By catching errors on the front end, this system holds error rates below 1%. The smartest practice owners are no longer trying to hire their way out of a data crisis. They are restructuring their operations entirely. Stop the revenue bleed today by booking a free strategy call.